Hey boys and girls, today's math is putting decimals in order from either least to greatest and greatest to least. And the really cool thing about ordering decimals and comparing decimals is that you can think about them much like when we were doing whole numbers. You just compare each place until you have found the order that they belong in. So for example, the best way to do it is to line them up by the place values, because the one thing that's going to be different about decimals is that they're going, well, not necessarily different, but the way you line up the place values is a little bit different. So you can see that on these first two numbers, there's nothing in the hundredths place, but in the second two numbers there are. So it looks like, because this is four numbers, it's automatically going to be bigger. But that's not the case, because if you compare the first digits, which is what we always do, you can see that these two numbers, even though they have less digits, are going to be the higher numbers because they're in the 40s and these are in the 30s. So you want to keep that in mind when you are ordering decimals. Okay, so then the next thing you do is you want to compare the highest place. So in this case, it's the tens place. And the book suggests that you rearrange them, you rewrite them in that order so that you put your two threes at the top and your two fours at the bottom, because if you're going from least to greatest, your threes would be first and your fours would be next. So that's an option. And then you're going to compare your ones places. You're going to see this has a 6 and this has an 8. So that automatically means that the 36 is less than the 38. We don't even have to look at the decimal places at all. And then we go to the 40s. Now in this case, the 40s are both zeros. So in this case, we do have to compare the tenths place to decide which one's going to come first. 1 is smaller than 3, so the 40.1 is smaller than the 40.3. Like it says right here. So then you're going to put those two in order from least to greatest. So you have your 36.33 or your 36 and 33 hundredths. This is 38 and 3 hundredths. This is 40 and 1/10, and this is 40 and 3/10. So that 40 and 3/10 is the greatest. Okay, so you can also do it the opposite direction and go from greatest to least. So here is the greatest to least. In this case, it's talking about the problem at the top where we're going from slowest to fastest. So in this case, the lower the number, the faster the person went. So in this one, the order from slowest to fastest puts them in order from greatest to least, because obviously if they were slower, this is talking about like time or distance, that's going to be the slowest time. We can use a number line to help us to put things in order as well. So here's a number line from 0 to 1. And if I want to figure out where these numbers are going to be on the number line, I know that 0 is going to be the smallest and 1 is going to be in the largest, and they're going to fall in order on the number line based on where they fall when you're counting. So it's pretty straightforward in terms of least to greatest and greatest to least. So if you want to go ahead and try some of the problems on 421, you can do that. Pause the video here, and then when you're ready, come back and unpause it, and I'll show you the answers. And then you'll see if you are ready to move on to the worksheet. So pause now. Okay, hopefully you paused, and now I'm going to show you the answers to the problems that you did. Again, the best thing to do here, I'll hold it here for a minute, but the best thing to do here is to just pause it so you can see all the answers. Okay, so really comparing and ordering decimals is pretty similar to what we did to compare and order whole numbers. So you know what numbers are smaller and what numbers are bigger. Just remembering that the number of digits doesn't make a difference in that respect as it would with whole numbers. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. Go ahead and do the worksheet when you're ready.